Video
The
and
pandemic
burial.
isn't over just because you're over it.
What?
You ever seen that?
I don't even know what you're saying. What were you singing?
The pandemic isn't over just because you're over it.
No, I
And
have.
then like, and then like, I'm gonna send it to you. Like, she sings that, and then she just like pans out of the frame slowly.
What? You know what?
She,
Got it. Got it.
I'm gonna
That's
send it to you. I'm gonna send it to you.
that's again. All right. Community
Right.
Coalition Show. Once again, we back. K Wilson, David
What's
2K.
good?
Yeah, that just threw me.
Gang, gang.
I was like, what? Whispering to the mic. Um, one day you're gonna say something crazy. It's gonna be real crazy. Like I'm just waiting,
Right.
you know. But we back again. This is, you know, another week, another thing. Actually, it's a lot going on this week.
Another day, another dollar.
Another day, another dollar. There's a lot going on. We're actually recording this Sunday night.
Mm-hmm.
Typically we do Monday nights, put it out Tuesday, but some things going on tomorrow. Got to handle some business.
Right.
But there's a lot going on, and actually with this show, this is one I've been wanting to do for a while. This is one of those shows that I've been kind of waiting to do.
Right.
And this one, as we're getting closer to the elections, really,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's some conversations that need to be had, especially involving the Black community when it comes to voting in the elections. And so
Right.
this is one we're going to do. I didn't want this to be the big one. There's going to
Right.
be one where we're going to have like a real hard conversation. It's probably going to go
Right.
on me and you. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right. We gotta have like a panel.
yeah, yeah,
We gotta have a panel for that one.
yeah. We're going to have to. And
Mm-hmm.
I know this is one of those touchy subjects too.
Mm-hmm.
Some people feel some way about voting. Either way, either they choose to vote or they don't. So what
Right.
I'm thinking was I wanted to quickly throw out there 5 reasons why Black people should vote.
Okay.
I feel like these are quick. I feel like these are simple. I'm not going to
Mm-hmm.
spend too much time on them because again, I know from now until November and even after November, as we keep going, we're going to have this conversation. We're going to continue to have these conversations. So that's
Right.
where I was. So,
I just realized that like this is the 8th month, and we only have like what is it like 2 or 3 months till
we're talking,
election? Wow.
we're middle of August right now. So we're really
Mm-hmm.
talking, we got the end of this month and then September and October.
Right.
And then the election that's early November, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So
November 3rd, if
yeah,
y'all don't know.
2.5 months maybe-ish. It doesn't seem like it now
Wow.
because it's still summer, but it's not as far off as we think,
Right.
which is why one of the reasons I really wanted to start having these conversations now was to start getting it into everyone's brain, just putting it in the forefront, to start thinking about these
Right.
things now because, this and this is how I kind of look at it. There's people who vote,
Mm-hmm.
and we know they vote. They know who they're going with. They've already probably been doing research. Those are the people
Right.
we're probably not speaking to with this show.
Right.
There are some people who they vote, kind of sort of when they see somebody they like, they want to support. Maybe not vote in all elections. Maybe they just do the presidential election, but they don't look at anything local. Things like that. The kind of
Right.
casual. And then we have a bunch of people, well, not a whole bunch of people, but there's a group of people out there, especially the Black community, that
Mm-hmm.
don't believe in voting. They don't care for it. They don't think that their
Right.
vote matters. They don't want, they don't, and they have opinions about.
Right.
And to be completely honest, I'm a voter, of course. I
Me
see.
too.
Yeah, we're voters. But with the people
Mm-hmm.
who say that I don't vote, it's not like I'm like, I don't turn my nose up at them or anything. And
Right.
sometimes I kind of see why. I'm like, you know what? Sometimes your point, I'm like, I see it.
Yeah.
But I do feel like we should participate in this process.
We
Um,
should.
one of the things I'm big on is that if you're going to be a part of this country, if you're going to be a citizen, if you're here, you might as
Mm-hmm.
well take that time to participate however you can in the process. Even if you don't
Right.
think your vote counts. Again, I use the grain of sand analogy.
Mm-hmm.
I say our vote,
Right.
one vote, it may be like a grain of sand, like it's very small. You can almost barely see. It's very, very tiny. And I can
Right.
understand why people think it's so insignificant, right? But when you
Mm-hmm.
start putting the grains of sand together and you bring them all
Right.
together,
Mm-hmm.
then you have a beach. That's how I kind of look at
That's
voting.
true.
When we come together, everyone participated. Now we have something substantial. We do have power. We have a voice. We are able to move.
Right.
And so that's why I would say, if nothing else, at least look at participating. Like, and so
Mm-hmm.
hopefully the goal of
Because it could be a beach or it could be a desert.
that's another thing too. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Good point. I like that. There's some Saharas out this joint, man.
This is why I'm here. This is why I'm here.
We's be thinking. But for real, so I'm gonna throw 5 out there real quick.
Okay.
I feel like these are obvious for most people.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll make it work. So the first one is obviously Donald Trump.
Right. Yeah.
Donald Trump.
We getting him out of here. He ain't here anymore. No, we're not doing this again.
Yeah, we can't go through this again, y'all. And I think
Right.
this is the biggest example we're gonna get of why your vote matters. Because if you put it in the hands of other people and people, this is what we get. This is what we got.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When we eat up black stuff, I don't really care for either one of them. I don't like them. And always heard like the lesser of two evils. That's not good enough. But sometimes we have to look at the situation at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Like even this current election, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm the biggest Joe Biden fan. I'm not.
Right.
But I would rather see him and his VP, Ms. Harris, take a stab at it, take a shot, see what they got over what we already know is there. We've seen it. We know how. Look at where we are right now, y'all.
Right.
Like,
We're in a. Not only are we in a pandemic, we are in a recession.
Pandemic, recession, the racial tension, all kinds of stuff going.
Right.
Policies that have been put in place. Let's not even talk about that. Let's look at the latest. Like, there's so many crazy policies. The view on how our people are treated. Like there's so much with, and I'm gonna say him, but also his administration too. Like look at the people he put in power, his cronies and his flunkies and his friends, people who are not qualified to be doing these jobs. He just replaced Fauci with a guy who wasn't even qualified to do that job. The Secretary of Education has no idea around the classroom. Like these people weren't put in place because they were qualified. They're friends. Like
it's more of an oligarchy.
That's all it is. It's like a dictatorship kind of thing. We'll bring the people I like.
And if you don't know what an oligarchy is, go back to government class, please.
Yeah. And then when you oppose him, what does he do? He outs you. So this is it's like a dictatorship, And that's why. And so I'm also looking at not just him, the administration, the people around him, because they don't oppose him. So everybody around this person, all this leadership, they're scared of this guy,
Right.
No one's going to do anything outside to make him unhappy. That's crazy, y'all. So that means no voices. There's no one stand up and say, hey, no, this is wrong. We need to be doing this. No one's opposing this. So the whole administration in general, along with him, this needs to go. There's nothing beneficial coming from this right now. And I can do I can do 3 or 4 or 5 podcasts on Donald Trump alone.
We might.
The embarrassment of it all.
We might need to.
We might
need to.
The whole series. That'd be a good time to start the Patreon account. You want to hear me?
Hey.
Ooh. For that alone,
that's some stuff in the works. Hopefully we get that out there.
Yeah. But just the
hope y'all tune in for that. Also.
Yeah. The thought of a couple more years and a whole nother term of this, that's madness to me. This is madness. So again, I would rather see someone else, give it a try and see what they can do at this point. So how you feel about him, your policies or whatever, that alone, especially as a black man, I look at how my life is right now, how I get treated. I look at how many black men are shot. No one's done anything about it, and he's calling these guys good people and stuff. That alone, time to go, fam. So that's how I'm looking at. So that's the first one. Quick,
like especially with black men getting shot, like at least other leaders have said something about it. They said, "Hey, this wasn't right. This shouldn't have happened. We're sorry about this to the families.
Yeah.
We will work with you to like get something done." This guy hasn't said
No,
anything.
it's administration. I remember that. So many examples. What do I have to go to?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have to go back to the Charlottesville riots and all the Nazis down there and the racists? And he called them good people and stuff. Like, do we have to go
Right.
back to, I mean, and I'm you know what? I'm gonna go beyond black people at this point too. Um,
Right.
let's look at our Mexican friends and the immigrants and how they've been treated. And we got kids in cages
Mm-hmm.
at the border. We got trying to
Right.
lock down countries and have them restrict to get to this country. Like
Right.
there were schools. Literally, I was reading an article where there were schools where ICE set up fake schools, fake colleges,
Mm-hmm.
and when the kids went to enroll, they would lock them up. Like this is
Right.
how elaborate this and crazy this has been. The wall situation,
Mm-hmm.
all this. Like there's so many different examples. I could go on and on. Time to go. Time to go. So that
Right.
if you have not seen a reason to vote at this point, if off that one alone,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. So that's the
I
first.
think for me, it's more the kids in cages. Like, and people. Not only that, people are dying in those cages.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Like,
Like I said, I'm not trying to be here all night for real. I'm trying to provoke thought. I want to get these out. But
right.
we have so many examples, man. Like,
Mm-hmm.
as I was sitting here writing and I was taking notes, and I was like, I can't write all this right now. I just can't. It's so much. That's how
There are
crazy.
hundreds of examples right now.
Hundreds of examples, hundreds. So, and if you haven't seen any of them, I don't know where you've been. I don't know where you've been. Even on the world stage, the United States is the laughing stock of the world right now. If you have friends in other
Yep.
parts, I have friends, I have colleagues, I work with people in other parts of the world. And when we start talking about the politics of this country, they literally laugh at us. Literally laugh. These are people from third world countries that laugh at us.
Right.
Like, that's crazy to me. Like, the United States is no longer the country we always thought it was. There's no way the world aid and helper, the administrator, this is not. We are the laughing stock.
Right.
Our president is seen in the same lights as dictators as Kim Jong-un and those guys. Like, that's how we're viewed. So, come on, y'all.
It's crazy.
Number one. Number two, local elections matter.
Right. Because they help wow. I just blinked.
I hope y'all know.
Take over.
No. Local elections play a huge part in our everyday lives.
Right.
If you pay taxes, if you are a property owner, if you have kids in school, if you go to local colleges and community colleges and even the state schools, I mean, any part of your life, at some point, local politics goes through that. Like your roads, conditions of certain things, like they make those decisions.
If you want to get things built in your neighborhood, those happen through local elections.
Development, city development, all those things. The building, like if you, I can tell you, we live in the Washington D.C. area, and if you look at this area alone in terms of development, that is all local government. So
absolutely,
the day to day. I mean, even if you have a job, if you pay taxes in this stuff, if you have a job, we pay federal and state taxes. You put in on this. Again, you have a say so in these things. And also, you're probably more accessible to the local representatives. And so I think that's why, if nothing else, you got to figure out who's who at the local level. School board is another one. As we're talking about all these issues and going back to school and all this stuff, look at how much local governments have played a role. Even in the state of Maryland, look at like how our government, how he handled the corona crisis, getting the PPE. Like, look at schools right now, and everyone's trying to make decisions on who's going back and what. Those are local decisions that are being made. The federal government tries to chime in on some of this stuff, but there's some things they can't chime in on. So if you're looking at the day-to-day life, you're looking at local elections, y'all. And that's why you need to really be up on these things. Again,
if you have especially kids, if you got kids.
Look at this now. It's crazy. I look at the people making these decisions. That's why these things are important. I mean, little things. I mean, all kinds of little things, from the laws, the policies that are going down with like MVA and like the DMV, motor vehicle, all kinds of stuff, property tax,
Right.
um, businesses, things like that. If you're a business owner,
Right.
like, so that's why, please, I encourage everyone. Everyone looks at the presidential race. That's the one that always gets the big attention and all that. But no, I think the local election is just as important. You need to know who these people are. You need to know what they stand for. You need to look at their track records, and you need to participate in these things. And this
Right.
it's easy to find out there. I mean, if you just pull up on your local newspaper, you'll find this stuff. So again, that's why, and then also too, going back to Donald Trump and his administration. Look at the local levels too. How many of these guys
Right.
are cronies of his as well? How many of these guys haven't opposed him? I look at some of these governors, some of these dudes who were they're Trump guys, and look at some like look at Georgia, for example. I'll just throw out Georgia. Look at this school district in Georgia, things like that, and look how this
Not
year.
only that, look at Florida. Like, look at everything going on in Florida right now.
Another state. So again, local leadership has a huge role to play in those decisions. So participate. So that was the second one. The third one, going into both of these, I wrote down leadership does matter. Leadership in general. Right. We're talking about the examples of Trump. We're talking about the locals. But in the grand scheme of the voter process, we do need sound leadership.
Right. And we need leaders with leadership skills.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. We elected a guy who has no skill set in leadership. And I don't care. I mean, even if you look at his business record, like, it's not a good one. It wasn't a good one.
It's not a good one.
Not a good one, y'all. I don't know where he got that from. It's not a good one. But
he paid for it. Literally, and he didn't do school for it.
No. And then you look at take this COVID crisis. One of many, for example. And look at how leadership. We have one side that's divided, and they trying to get us out there, business, make money. We have another side that's saying, no, we gotta be safe. And then there's nothing in the middle to make a decision. Like, if we haven't seen examples of why leadership matters, look at the year 2020. Like,
Sorry, keep going. I'm just going to change out headphones because I'm hearing some pops and clicks.
So change our headphones.
I don't know if that
mid show. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep talking. Swap out. But again, so elections in our neighborhoods. Like I said, I even looked at the international relationship. We're talking about leadership. Again, talking about the international things. Look at the relationship with like countries like Russia. And these countries they've been tampering with our lives. They've been getting our information. They're playing with our elections, and this has happened freely. Like, this stuff can't happen. Like, we had these rules for a reason. These things were in place for a reason. I know a lot of us, a lot of people don't understand those international rules and the relationships. But that's why we need good leadership to be able to do that.
Right, to handle it.
Yeah. So that was another one. Come on, y'all. We got to do that. The fourth one I wrote down was that the racial divide is going to continue with this current leadership.
Right. It will.
If we're talking about Black Lives Matter, if we're talking about racial oppression not being fairly,
if we're talking about immigration,
the issues with these cops, the reform that happened with the police, like, none of that is going to change with these guys we currently have. None of that is going to change with Trump. None of it will.
Right. People want to come here to have a better life. And someone is not, like Trump, he's not allowing that.
No, because they don't care about that. They don't care about us. They don't care about us.
Like, someone's trying to do better. And you're not allowing them.
No. You're not allowing it because they don't want it. They don't want it. They don't care for it.
And that's not right.
Yeah. It's evil. And also, again, we're here now. I don't care how we got here. We are here. And so we need to be treated as such. We put it on this. We build this. We help control and run this. It's time for that to change. But again, going back to these people saying, please please, Black Lives Matter, please help us, please not shoot us. And they're looking at us like, whatever. So it's, again, time to get these guys out of here. It will not, our situation will not change with these guys around. Trump currently has people in, like, why do you think he doesn't speak on these situations? Some of his cronies.
Because he doesn't have the tools to handle that, first of all.
Not even that. Their foundation, his campaign and foundation was built, his base is built on a lot of racist people.
Right.
Let's just keep it 100. Just, you know, and so he found the people that were going to ride with him and vote for him, and it's the people who are the same people who don't like us.
Right.
Let's be real. You know, so it's not going to change for that. Again,
right.
I would like to see Biden, Kamala Harris do a better job. Try,
right.
You know, and you know, people say, like, again, you know, matter of fact, I'll touch on that later. That was the fourth one. And then the fifth one, real quick, like I said, if you live here, if you pay taxes here, if you work in this country, if you move around, if you do anything in this country, you have to say so on what happens. You do.
Right. Taxation without representation. Y'all remember that?
I know from school, right?
Yeah, like, yep. I really want to stress, like, this is like this. You're supposed to be here, and you're allowed to have an opinion on what goes on with this company, with this government, what's going on in the country. You are allowed to have a say.
Yeah.
And like, we have a say now, and we did have a say 4 years ago, but a lot of people didn't use their say, we see where we are right now.
That's the thing. We're not using it.
Right.
You know, I went back and looked at, like, voting numbers and stuff. I remember that Obama's first administration, we elected Obama, record numbers came out because we just wanted to see a black man in office. Like, so it was proven that there is black voting power.
Right.
Everyone. I mean, so many, like, the numbers were crazy. And then by the time Trump came around, the numbers had dropped. We didn't use our power.
Right.
And and that's a crime to me. That's a crime. We have power.
Absolutely.
You don't let anybody tell you that black people don't. We have voting power. We have spending power. We have
spending power. We have voting power. We are the power.
We are. But we need to start using it and wielding it. This is one of those ways we can do this.
Right. And using it responsibly.
This is an easy way we can do this. You know? And I think it's time that we start looking at that. So those are my 5. A couple things I was thinking of too. I was looking at this process, and again, I was thinking about Kanye. Please, y'all, don't fall for the okie doke. Don't fall for the bad. Kanye is not a real candidate. It's been said, and it's almost been. I'm not gonna say it's been proven, but he is there to steal votes away from the black community. Right. That's a trick and used by the Trump administration. Because if you vote for him, we all know he's not going to win. Right. Even a couple votes for him damaged the other side, damaged Biden. They damaged him. You know, it's the split. It's the divide. If we can dilute the vote, if we can split up the vote, then it doesn't have power. We have to unify on who we're gonna put our behind. Yeah, we do.
Not only that, don't be stupid and okay. I'm talking to the trolls now. Yeah. Don't be stupid and vote for someone like Harambe.
Yeah. Don't throw it away.
Don't throw it away.
Yeah. Don't throw the vote away on someone you know is not going to win. Just try to be funny. That's not funny. That's not funny. Don't do that.
See where that got us.
Yeah. Don't do that shit. Like, I'm just being real. Don't do that. Like, let's take this serious. If you're going to do it, put some effort behind it. Put some research into it. I would just rather, like, even if I don't agree with how you vote, I would just rather see black people vote for him. If I can say, you know what, I can justify X, Y, Z, this is how I feel. I'm one of those people like, all right, we don't agree about everything all the time, but at least do it. again, use the power. But if that's how
Right.
you feel, that's how you feel. But don't
Mhm.
just the biggest thing that frustrates people that frustrate you are the people who don't sit back and complain and talk shit and run your mouth and you haven't done anything to push this process along. If you don't
Right.
vote, if you don't look who's voting, if you don't care, don't complain about this country then. That's the
Right.
thing, that's the thing that annoys me. Don't come back and whine and complain and bitch when you have done nothing to participate in this process. If you
Right.
don't vote, go shut up somewhere then. And I'm saying it. I'm saying it.
Yeah.
You don't have a right to complain because you didn't use your power.
Right. Sit down. Shut up.
Yep, go sit down, set up somewhere for the next 4 years. Go shut up for 4 years.
Right.
And then don't complain about the past either if you ain't do nothing there either. So just
Mm.
really go shut up, really. Like, if you're not trying, again, I look at it with like, I go back to like the Black Lives Matter, the protesting and stuff like that. Like, people did something. Even if you couldn't be out there on the front lines, even if you weren't out there protesting, there were people that were doing campaigns online. There were people that were
Right.
that were organizing and helping. People were doing something. But if you didn't,
Right. People were donating. People were organizing. People were having petitions. There were petitions. There were ways to donate. There were marches. There was a way for everybody to do it, to help.
yeah, and if you didn't, don't say nothing. Don't.
Right.
Like, those are the people that really frustrate me to my core. You know, like there's ways to help this process. There's ways to learn. There's ways to get out there. One of the biggest fights we're having right now is that Trump's really trying to sabotage our postal service. Why?
Right.
Because he doesn't want people to vote via mail.
Right.
That's a huge thing going on right now. He is literally trying to take money away and reallocate sources, taking the overtime away, and it's really affecting our mail service. I'm waiting on. I got boxes of shoes I'm waiting on, man. I ain't seen all.
Right.
Like it is.
Yeah, I've got stuff that I've been
It's
waiting
actually,
for to.
I hate to say, kind of working in a sense where it's like it's slowed up the process. They said they've actually taken mailboxes away and stuff. Like this is
Not only have they said it, there's video evidence of them taking there was a video of a truck with like mailboxes on it and workers like picking up mailboxes and taking them away.
Yeah.
Where are they taking them to? What are you doing with them?
Yeah. They're stripping the overtime, so they're making it hard for them to work and complete the work. Because overtime is a big way that they were able to catch up and get stuff done. So when you take that time away, you slow the process up. And they're trying everything they can. This is crazy, y'all. These are the things that are happening. These are the things that are being manipulated and plotted and schemed to try to keep them in power. This is why. These are all the reasons why we have to get up and do something, man. And so again, this show, this platform will continue to have these conversations. And so
voter suppression is real.
Voter suppression is real. Power is real. Power wielded in an evil manner is real. You know, people suppressing Black people is extremely real. That is real. All this stuff is real. So my charge is, what you gonna do about it? Are you gonna sit back? You gonna whine and complain? Or are you gonna get up and try to get these people up out of here? What you doing?
Right.
You know, look at,
get your voice heard.
Yeah, I looked at. You know, it's funny. I was thinking about like George Floyd, Brown, and Taylor. All of our people, all these people who have died in vain at the hands of our leadership, directly and indirectly. Because if you think about it, there's a role to play. People's lives could have been saved if we actually did something about it, you know? And I'm looking at it like, if we do our part, maybe we can help prevent some of these things from happening in the future. You know, we got to do something. So I'm looking at them too, like, what are we doing now? That's why I applaud the people out there protesting, they're trying. What are we doing now? This is the next thing we can do to show our strength, to show our power, to show and to say, hey, this is how we feel. This is what we do. And we all can do this. You know, I mean, if you're of age, of course. But if you aren't of age, there's things you can get out there and do and help and things like that. You know, and I would even say, even to the young people, even if you can't vote right now, if you can't vote in this election, start educating.
Volunteer.
You can volunteer, but also educate yourself. Start learning about the process. So when you are ready and you are of age, you already come in ahead of the game. You know, I think that's important to learn too. You know, educate yourself as soon as possible.
Right.
So when this comes, you're ready. Educate yourself on how to vote. Educate yourself on where you vote. Sign up now. Register now so that we can start getting your information. They send out packets and stuff on the candidates. Start getting all that stuff now. Get that stuff ready. Don't wait till November to start scrambling and figuring it out. The debates coming up. The conventions are coming up. Start learning who's who. Start seeing these people and start figuring out what they're about now. Don't wait till November. That's what we can do.
Hashtag.
You know what? Right.
Actually, you know what? That might be our next hashtag campaign.
It might be. Yeah.
Don't wait till November.
Don't wait till November. Yep. So we on that. Write that down.
I'm writing it down. I got it. I got it.
Well, I know that's all I got. That's all I wanted to say. I want to throw that out. And again, if you're listening, if you're watching, if you agree or disagree, let us know.
Let us know.
Let's have healthy conversation. I'm always open to that. If you don't agree, let me know why. Maybe we can talk about. Maybe we can discuss. It doesn't have to be my side versus your side, or I'm right and you're wrong. No, let's see what we come up with. And I think that's part of the division where everyone has to be right. We don't have to be right. Me and you, we don't have to be right. Sometimes I give it 50-50. We could be wrong.
Right. Arguments are supposed to be the solution of arguments are supposed to be at mutual ground. We're supposed to come to an understanding.
Yeah. So maybe we can learn something from someone else. They can learn something from us. That's what this is about. Again, that's the root of the Community Coalition Show. Try to provoke thought, to try to get people thinking, and maybe then they could take that and go where they're going to go with it, So let us know, fam. Let us know. That's what that's
Also, don't forget to check us out on Untitled Unlimited podcast this week. That should be coming out soon. And educate yourself, love each other, and Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter. Continue to wear masks. Continue to stay safe out there because Rona's out there too.
Wear a mask.
Try to strip that vote too. So don't play. Continue to stay safe, everybody. Continue to do your thing. And we're gonna come back. We'll come back next week with more. Keep going. I just wanted to be, we short tonight. That's just the tone we are. We'll come back.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll come back next week with the Bobs and Karens and stuff like that.
Right.
Get back to it. So, you know where to find us, communitycoalitionshow.com. We're on YouTube, social media. Check us out.
On all the streaming platforms.
Yep. K. Wilson, David 2K.
Peace.
We out.